What if I told you that the biggest threat to your business isn't competition, inflation, or even a market crash, but being unprepared for what's next? Now, in today's fast moving world, guessing isn't a strategy. But what if you could see around corners and plan for multiple futures before they happen? Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today. How AI powered scenario planning can help you predict, prepare, and pivot faster than ever. Because the future belongs to those who are ready for it. Hello, and welcome back, my fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Kim, your host of Small Business Big AI, the podcast where we cut through the noise around artificial intelligence and tech trends to bring you actionable strategies for growing your business. Now, last week, we explored the three powerhouses of AI: predictive, generative, and agentic AI, and how they fit into your business playbook. But here's the real question. How do you plan for what's next when the future is so unpredictable? Now, have you ever woken up to a market shift that completely blindsided you? I mean, maybe an unexpected cost popped up, a supply chain hiccup threw your operations off, or let's be real, a customer trend changed overnight and you were left scrambling. Now, if you've been there, you know the stress. But what if I told you that you never have to be caught off guard again? So today, we're diving into scenario planning, a strategy that helps businesses prepare for uncertainty instead of just reacting to it. And here's the kicker. When you add AI to the mix, you're no longer just planning, you're predicting, preparing, and pivoting faster than ever. So, how do you build a business that can handle anything, whether it's an economic downturn, a supply chain breakdown, or a major industry shakeup? Well, the answer? Strategic scenario planning powered by AI. Now, Hal and I will break it all down. We'll look at how small businesses just like yours can use AI to plan for multiple futures, reduce risk, and stay ahead of disruption, helping you transform your business into a technology enabled superpower. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's future proof your business. Now, let's be honest. Most business planning assumes stability. Now, you build your forecast, set your goals, and map out a strategy based on how things should go. But let me tell you something. Stability is a myth. Markets shift, technology evolves, competitors don't wait. And let's not even get started on the economic roller coaster we've been on lately. That's where scenario planning comes in. Now, think of it as your business insurance policy. Instead of guessing what's next, you create a roadmap for multiple futures. So, no matter what happens, you're ready to pivot with confidence. So, what's the difference between scenario planning and traditional forecasting? Well, traditional forecasting is like driving with a GPS that only shows one route. Now, assuming there are no detours, no roadblocks, and no unexpected traffic. But scenario planning, well, it's like having Waze for your business. It considers all the possibilities, the best route, the detours, the backups. So when the unexpected happens, you already have an alternative plan. So, why do small businesses need scenario planning? Well, larger companies have entire teams dedicated to risk management. But as a small business owner, you wear a dozen different hats. And that means you need a system that helps you see around those corners without adding hours of work to your already packed schedule. Now, scenario planning allows you to identify those key risks before they really disrupt your business. And it helps you map out potential outcomes and prepare responses in advance. It also helps you make smarter, more flexible decisions that keep you ahead of the curve. And here's the reality: businesses that master this process aren't just surviving in times of uncertainty, they are thriving because they've already planned for multiple futures. Now, after a quick break, Hal and I will dive into the real world processes of scenario planning. Now, step by step, like how do you identify key risks and how do you map out different futures? Also, how do you use this framework to gain a competitive edge? Because, like I always say, businesses that win aren't the ones who necessarily react the fastest. They're the ones who are prepared before the storm even hits. Let's take a quick breather here. If you're enjoying the episode and picking up some valuable insights, make sure to subscribe to Small Business Big AI on your favorite podcast app so you never miss out on future conversations. And hey, if you know someone who could use this information, go ahead and share it with them too. All right, it's time for one of my favorite segments, Coffee Table Conversations with Kim and Hal. Now, this is where we break down real world strategies for small business owners who are juggling a million things at once. Welcome back, Hal.
It's always a pleasure, Kim.
All right, Hal. Now let's get real. Now, small business owners often feel like they're constantly playing defense, reacting to problems instead of planning for them. But when it comes to uncertainty, defense isn't enough. We need a strategy that puts us back in control. So, Hal, let's break it down. Why is scenario planning such a game changer for small businesses?
Kim, it's simple. The businesses that plan for multiple futures, they just don't survive, they thrive. Look, change is inevitable. Whether it's a decline in sales, cybersecurity concerns, economic shifts, digital transformation, or supply chain issues. The businesses that succeed aren't the ones that react the fastest. They're the ones that saw it coming and already had a plan.
Now, that's a great point, and I want our listeners to take this seriously. Now, to my small business, Big AI family, as we go through these challenges, I want you to jot down the top 3 risks that keep you up at night. Now, trust me, this will all be important later. So, Hal, let's say that I'm a small business owner who's listening right now, and I am thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually do this? So, what's the first step in scenario planning?
Step 1 is identifying key drivers that could potentially impact your business. These are forces that shape your industry, and they typically fall into 5 categories. Economic conditions, things like inflation, interest rates, or shifts in consumer spending. Technological advancements, are new tools or AI innovations disrupting your industry? Regulatory changes, new laws, policies, or government mandates that could impact your business model? Competitive dynamics. What are your competitors doing? Are new players entering the market? Social and environmental factors, changing demographics, customer preferences, and sustainability trends. Let's pause here because this is where small businesses gain the edge.
Right, Hal. Because when you are proactively analyzing these drivers, you're not just reacting to changes, you're anticipating them. Now, let's give an example. So, imagine you are a small retailer and you notice two trends, like the cost of shipping is rising, or more customers are buying from brands that emphasize maybe sustainability. So instead of waiting for these trends to impact your bottom line, scenario planning allows you to map out multiple responses in advance. Now, maybe you shift to local suppliers to reduce shipping costs, or you highlight eco friendly products in your marketing.
Exactly. And that brings us to step two, creating your what if scenarios. Here's the process. Start by identifying two, three potential disruptions. For each one, outline a best case, worst case, and most likely scenario. Then simply map out your responses. What steps would you take in each case?
And how I know some listeners might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I actually use this in my business? So this is where Howard and Howard's small business transformation model comes in. Now, here's where the SBTM makes the difference. It doesn't just help you adapt, it helps you turn change into a competitive advantage. And how? Let's connect the dots. How does this kind of planning actually drive long term success?
Kim, this is where most small businesses go wrong. They think scenario planning is a one-time exercise, something to do once a year and then forget about it. But here's the truth. Scenario planning isn't a one-time event. It's a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger your business becomes. The companies that regularly revisit their scenarios can pivot faster when change happens. The businesses that involve their teams in planning create a culture of adaptability. And those who leverage AI, which we'll cover in the next segment, can use data to make smarter, faster decisions.
Oh, I love that, Hal. So, scenario planning isn't about predicting the future, it's about being ready for whatever happens. So, for those of you listening, I want you to take your three biggest risks from earlier and run them through this process. Now, identify what could trigger each risk. Then, map out a best case, a worst case, and most likely scenario. And finally, write down at least one action you can take today to prepare. Because when you do this consistently, you're not just running a business, you're building the future and becoming a technology enabled superpower.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, coming up next, we're bringing AI into the mix. Now, how can AI help automate, accelerate, and refine this entire scenario planning process? Now, we're hitting the accelerator and heading to Montana for a real world example of how an auto dealership can use AI driven insights to navigate a changing market. So stay tuned. Ready to unlock the power of AI for your small business? Well, don't just listen. Become a small business big AI insider. Subscribe today and get ready to dominate. All right, we've laid the foundation. Scenario planning gives you control over uncertainty. But today, small businesses, especially ones like car dealerships, they don't have time to manually map out every possible future. So, in the past, scenario planning meant brainstorming what ifs on a whiteboard and hoping for the best. Now, AI runs simulations in real time. It identifies risks before they happen, and it even suggests contingency plans. And that brings us to Bob. Now, just to be transparent, to protect the innocent, Bob isn't his real name. So, okay, Hal, tell us about Bob.
Well, Kim, Bob is a car dealership owner in Montana, one of the most unique auto markets in the country. This isn't just any dealership. His customers are high net worth individuals, seasonal buyers, and adventure seekers looking for luxury SUVs, EVs, and performance vehicles. Bob is excited about the future. He's expanding his inventory of electric vehicles and premium SUVs. But he's also nervous. Why? Because the chip shortage is still affecting his supply. Inflation and interest rates are making buyers hesitant. Tech giants, Tesla, Apple, and others are changing the auto industry. Luxury buyers are unpredictable. Their preferences shift quickly. Bob knows a single disruption, like a delay in EV production or dip in demand, could mean massive revenue losses.
So, Hal, how does Bob stop guessing and start preparing?
Well, let's play this out using AI-powered scenario planning. Step 1. Identify key scenarios and market risk. AI-driven scenario planning starts by asking the right questions. For Bob's dealership, here are the 3 critical what-if scenarios. Scenario 1. What if EV demand surges next year? Eco-conscious buyers, they might decide that in 2025, this is the year to go all electric. If Bob isn't stocked with the right EV models, he could lose high-value sales to his competitors. AI can analyze historical data plus consumer trends to predict when a buyer will be ready to buy or make a switch. Scenario 2. What if a competitor moves in? What if a Tesla dealership opens nearby and steals market share? AI tools can monitor competitor pricing and inventory in real time. Bob can adjust his promotions and financing offers dynamically instead of reacting too late. Scenario 3. What if interest rates stay high? Many buyers often finance their purchases, so high interest rates could stall big ticket sales. AI-driven pricing and financing models can help Bob adjust his strategies before sales drop.
So it's about having a plan A, B, and C ready to go.
Exactly. And by thinking through these scenarios in advance, Bob can adapt quickly, confidently, no matter what the future holds.
Okay, Hal, I've got this next one. That's step 2, how AI helps Bob stay ahead of the curve. Now, Bob's biggest challenge isn't selling cars, it's staying ahead of market volatility, consumer behavior, and supply chain risk. Now, this is where AI powered tools like CDK and Tekion come in. So, CDK Global and Tekion use real time market data to predict which vehicles Bob should stock before the trends shift. Now, instead of manually guessing which models will sell best, AI crunches regional data. buyer behavior and economic factors to suggest the right inventory mix.
Continuing with step two, Kim, AI also monitors competitor dealership pricing, promotions, and financing offers so Bob doesn't get caught off guard. AI predictive analytics automates pricing adjustments. If the luxury market softens, Bob's dealerships can offer strategic discounts or financing perks instantly.
Oh, and let's not forget about cybersecurity and data protection. Now, speaking of CDK Global, their recent cyber attack really highlighted the importance of cybersecurity for dealerships. So, how? How can scenario planning help dealerships prepare for such events?
That's a great point. Dealerships can use scenario planning to model the impact of a cyber attack, a data breach, or even a natural disaster. They can then develop contingency plans to minimize downtime, protect customer data, and maintain business operations.
So, with AI, Bob's dealership handles high value transactions, financing data, and personal buyer info with confidence.
Precisely. AI driven cybersecurity tools detect threats before they become a breach, a crucial safeguard in the high net worth market.
Wow, this is making me want to both buy a new car and start scenario planning.
But let's get back to Bob.
Oh,
Tell our listeners about step three.
okay. Step three is about how Bob can build AI powered what if scenarios with a well known basic tool from Google.
So, this isn't some futuristic concept. Bob can start today using Google's Notebook LM.
Exactly how. Now, Bob, or really any small business owner, can start by number one, logging into Google Notebook LM and creating a new scenario notebook. Then, number two, you would upload the dealership data like sales inventory, customer demographics, and competitor trends. And once you've done that, you go to step three. You start asking key what if questions. You'll write prompts like, what if Tesla opens a dealership nearby? How do I adjust pricing? Or you'll write a prompt like, what if gas prices rise again? Will that accelerate EV sales? Or another prompt you could write is, what if my best selling model faces a supply chain delay? What's my backup? And Google's Notebook LM is going to analyze the data and then help you refine your strategies and give you key insights. And then finally, it'll help develop actionable plans based on recommendations from the AI. So this means that Bob is no longer guessing. He's making data backed, proactive decisions.
So, for dealerships in unpredictable markets, AI driven scenario planning is the difference between thriving and struggling.
Exactly how. So Bob isn't just selling cars, he's navigating a rapidly changing industry where margins are tight, competition is fierce, and customer expectations are higher than ever. So, our key takeaway here is scenario planning is like having a navigation system for your business. But instead of just following the route, you get to explore different paths and choose the best one for your destination. Now, it's about being proactive, not reactive. And with the right tools and mindset, any car dealership, entrepreneur, or small business owner can use scenario planning to navigate the road ahead and accelerate towards success.
So, if you're a small business owner, take 15 minutes today. And think about the three biggest what if scenarios. What's your backup plan? And more importantly, how are you using AI to stay ahead?
Now that's it for today's episode of Small Business Big AI. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you're walking away inspired and equipped to use AI-powered scenario planning to make smarter, faster decisions so you can stop reacting and start leading. Now remember, in the AI era, it's all about taking small steps that lead to big changes. So, coming up next week, we will continue our Planning for Small Business Success series with Positioning Your Business for AI-Driven Growth. Now, we'll discuss the exact steps to capitalize on the AI revolution and why now is the best time to integrate AI and the risk of waiting. And then we'll also discuss how to future-proof your small business before the competition catches up. Because, as I always like to say, small businesses are the heart and soul of the American dream. And in this fast-changing landscape, the future belongs to those who prepare, adapt, and take action. Now, let's keep the conversation going. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with a fellow entrepreneur who needs a little AI magic in their life. And hey, if you've got a story about how AI has helped your business, I want to hear it. Reach out, and who knows, your story might just inspire a future episode. Now, until next time, keep embracing change, keep innovating, and remember, the future of your business is bigger than you think. And the steps you take today will shape the legacy you build tomorrow. Now, I'm Kim, and this has been Small Business Big AI. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode.